All right, last step here. We started constructing the suspension cables yesterday, and we just need to kind of finish that now. So I have a point at the top of every line, and then it connects to a point down below. My task right now is to establish a point along that line at a certain parameter. And so in order to do that, I need to create a list of variable parameters, because the triangulation, oh, that's a bad picture of this actually. Hold on. I don't like this picture because it has the stamp, but the triangulation is actually longer on one side versus the other. So you can see up there it's very, very tiny. So we need to generate that as a list. So basically it's going to be a function of a, we're going to go to curve analysis, and we're going to do evaluate curve. This tool is very simple. We've used it before. It just asks for the curve or list of curves that it's going to evaluate, and then it asks for the parameter that it's going to evaluate it by. So the curve that we're looking for, and let me kind of search through what we're working with, and I recall we worked on those lines here. So these are the curves that we're working with. To give you some context from what we've done so far, if you're structuring it the same way I am, it's these ones right here. So with this, we have a certain number of lines, and then we want to create a certain list or generate a range of numbers that are going to determine that particular param. So let's just kind of take a quick look at what side of the line is the origin of the line. So I'm going to put my curve in, and I'm going to use a numerical slider for the param. So first and foremost, I'm just going to do a slider from 0 to, I don't know how tall this is, maybe 50 feet max. And so I'm testing whether or not this is a percentage-based or proportional param, or if it's measuring it as a magnitude param. So right now the value is 0, which means it's at the start of the line, which tells me that my line, the 0 index, starts at the top. So if I increase my param, it's going to move downward. And so here you can see as I move to 1, it moves all the way down to the other side of the param. And if I move to 2, it moves double the length of the param in the direction of that line, or double the length of the line in the direction of that line. So that tells me that this is functioning as a percentage-based proportional param rather than a magnitude-based static param. So this is the function that I have to replace. It's going to be the actual list of params that it's going to place a point on. And so let's start generating that. So if we're doing this proportionally, the thing we kind of need to consider is the fact that these lines are actually longer. They're not the same length. So if I do kind of a growing list, it might not look like this right here, because the length might not be indicative of what we're trying to achieve. Let's just do it and take a look at it and see whether or not it looks right. So essentially what I'm going to do here is actually, hang on a moment. Let me ponder this for just a sec. Never mind. All right, let's just do this the regular way at first. So our list is going to be generated using the range of numbers. So range is going to be that domain-based feature. That means that the numbers are going to be anywhere from 0 to 1 as a maximum, potentially. However, I know that none of my points reach all the way down to the base. This one, in fact, I think goes about halfway. So our domain maximum is going to be 0.5, essentially. So let's construct that domain under math, domain, construct. And I'm going to use static numbers here. Actually, no, I'm going to use sliders. Sliders from 0 to 0.50 to 1. So the max is going to be 0.5. The minimum, I'm going to just kind of bring down close to 0, but not exactly 0. And then we need to determine how many of them there are. So I could type in exactly how many I want, but I know that I probably want it to be mapped to exactly however many lines there are. So I can list length this count of lines and plug it in that way. So that's what I'm going to do. List length. Measure how many there are. I'm going to plug that into range. So there are 6 lines, and so it's generating 6 numbers between 0.13 and 0.5. So if those are my params, I plug these in here. And oh, we got a double 6 curves. 7 params. Oh, right, because this, okay, yeah, sorry. Because this is creating the number of steps, which means gaps in between points. So we need to subtract 1 from it. So I'm going to change my n to have an expression of -1. There you go. So it's up to you to determine whether or not the points in this position is appropriate for you. I can't really answer that question for everyone, but what I do notice is that the proportion of this being 0.5 and that one being only like, I don't know, 0.3 or something like that, this is actually still a longer distance, which may not be, you know, appropriate for this. I can't quite tell. I don't have the exact measurements. But if you guys care so much about it, I can show you how to do the math to remap it to something that's going to be properly proportional, if you care so much. So anyway, let's use this as a baseline for now in order to create our pipe. Do I need to pause for a moment for anyone? Or you guys are good? You want me to just keep trucking through and you'll catch up on a break? Okay. All right, so we have our points. We have our rail points, which is very, very important, right? So this is our center point. These are our rail points. Our rail points have the same number of values. Oh no, this is 3 values. So we need the list item and grab the other side. That's right. Yeah. So we need to grab our rail points on either side. So this is a list item, and it's list iteming the center line points. I'm going to change that to grab one of the other sides. So I'm going to say 0. Grabs the ones on the right here. And so if I turn this off of multi-line data and I add a value of 1, it'll grab, 2. It'll grab the other side as well. So now it's grabbing both sides, and this is a line function, so that's why I can do that in the same list item. And so my line now is going to go curve, line. It's going to go from both of my endpoints to my midpoint. And hang on. 6 midpoints. Oh, that doesn't, you don't want that to be flattened. You want it to be grafted. And then you want this list to be grafted as well. And you're going to have to reverse the list. Yeah, sorry. So when you have stuff like that, it usually just means that something is flattened and it doesn't need to be flattened, or vice versa, or it needs to be grafted. And then when you do have it properly aligned, if it's still doing this kind of stuff, like if it's reaching from one side back to the other, that just means you have a list that needs to be reversed. So I could choose either side to reverse. I don't want to mess with my grafting right now, so I'm just going to reverse it on the list item. So I'll add reverse list here, plug that in there, and it didn't work. Because this needs to be flattened. Yeah, sorry, no. You want to do the reverse list on a singular list, not a double list like this one, because the grafting of that list is very important. So I'm going to reverse my points list instead. But I'm going to reflatten, turn the grafting off, and then reverse the list, and then graft it. So like this, and then graft, and then plug that in. There you go. How thoroughly confused did I make you guys with that? Okay, well, I want to hurry up and close the book on this. Basically, I have my two top lines now, and I also have my origin line, which is this one, but the origin line is actually just a partial, or it's a full line, and all I want is a partial line. So the cool thing is I think you can actually just break that line, and then you can grab one side versus the other. I just haven't done it specifically this way. So let me grab, I think it's division. We can use, not that, utility. Not B-rep split. I thought there was a line split. Or trim curve or something like that. Maybe not. Maybe we just have to map a new curve. All right, I guess we're going to map a new curve. So I think what I'm going to do is just another line function. And that line function is going to come from my convergence points. And it's going to map to the origin points at the bottom. So I'll do a pairing. These two lines are going to go together. And it's going to be these convergence points. And it's going to map to, like I said back here, the origin points down the bottom. So that would be this right here. So there you can see those lines are there. And so when I turn everything else off that's present here, that's what you see. And then it's a simple pipe. So you just go to surface, freeform, you do a pipe. This pipe is going to be much smaller than the other ones because it's a tension cable here. So I'll just do a slider from 0 to 0.55 to 1. Make it quite small. Like that. Okay, so I'm not going to do the other side in the video. It's just a copy and paste feature, but I will just kind of quickly go through and turn certain things off and certain things on in order to finish out the model of the actual bridge. And our surface was all the way back here, I believe. There you go. Any questions? Generally speaking? No? Okay. So I'll leave it to you guys to do the catch-up and to copy this application to the other side. And then we'll take a short break, and then we'll move into the next assignment. What's up?